Hey there, welcome back to the Greater You. So today's video, we're talking a little bit about the change process and wanted to review some things that we've covered in various parts in different videos. I wanted to do this one today, and this will probably be a couple of videos that we'll be hitting this process. So Ginger Sorensen, she's one of our coaches. She's got an awesome company called Journey to Euphoria. She's got a bunch of cool stuff going on. Her and I together built this model here based on contemporary psychology. Honestly, there's thousands of studies to substantiate this model that you're seeing in front of you. This is really the core of the change process according to cognitive behavioral science. And so let's take a look at this model and dive into this a little bit and talk about how we can create change. We wanted to talk about the topic of creating sustainable change, and that's what we're discussing here today. So you've seen this we've come at this from different angles, but today I wanted to come at it from this model specifically. So think about this in almost like a five-story building. Now, of course, human beings are more complicated than just five layers. And each layer can have an effect on the other layers. But for the sense of a purpose of understanding how this model works at its most basic level, let's take this in a more linear fashion. And then you can apply this to your own change process. So the core of how this works, it starts with our beliefs. The beliefs that we hold on to are kind of like our programming. It's how we view things. Beliefs are formed by experiences. Beliefs are formed by decisions that we've made. Beliefs are formed by even like habits can lead to kind of creation of beliefs. Exposure to really powerful ideas can create beliefs. Exposure to truth can create beliefs. But it's really what you believe in these patterns of thought that we have around stuff results in and creates a sense of a belief about something. For the purpose of today's walk through this layers of change model, let's say we're going to use exercise as an easy kind of model to grab your or metaphor to grab onto. So what we believe about our ability to move and our own physicality has a huge impact on our ability to create habits around exercise. If we have positive beliefs about exercise and about our bodies and about our fitness and our health, we're much more likely to stick to a exercise routine of some sort. If we have negative beliefs going on, things like, oh, I'm not strong enough, or I'm not committed enough, or I'm not, you know, that's for other people, but I don't really know that I can do that. If we have kind of negative beliefs about ourselves or our body or our ability to perform, then it's going to be harder to stick with an exercise routine, right? So the beliefs become the foundation of this model. For the purpose of this video, we're going to stick with a positive belief because we like to focus on solution here. So let's say a person is working at getting an exercise routine going, and deep down inside, they've done some internal work, they've done some life coaching, they've kind of met with a trainer and all this stuff, and they figured out that they believe that exercise will help them feel better mentally, physically, and emotionally, those three areas. Which, by the way, the science of it suggests that that is correct. That belief that that person's grabbing onto is based in reality, that a regular exercise routine helps improve our mental health, emotional health, and our physical health, obviously. So then you look at this next layer up, that belief becomes foundational. I believe that if I exercise regularly, I'm going to feel better mentally, emotionally, and physically, right? So then what I do is I start to build thoughts that will support that. And these thoughts are kind of the things that we focus on as we're trying to get ourselves moving, right? So your alarm goes off and you've got a morning time slot to go to the gym, your local gym. Then when that alarm goes off, we need to have these positive thoughts on board in our mind to help us get out of bed and get to the gym. So that internal conversation might be something like, I know I'll feel better. Remember that belief? I know that exercise makes me feel better. I know I'll feel better if I get myself to the gym and get through my workout and I feel like fresh out of the shower after that and I'm ready for the day. That is an example of a really great positive supportive thought that will support that belief, which is ultimately going to support the action of getting to the gym. The next layer up is to think about when I use these positive self-talk, oh, I know if I get out of bed and get to the gym, I'm going to feel better about my day. Let's say that's the thought you're working on. When you say that and when you visualize that, actually going through that experience, how do you feel? That's where the emotion of motivation comes in. That's where the emotion of like, I can do this, or a feeling of almost like a fire lighting in you, a feeling of desire comes up of like, I'm going to go do this. I'm committed to this, right? I know I'm going to feel better. So just thinking about it gets me kind of excited, right? So you figure out the emotions that are tied in to those positive thoughts and you cultivate those by letting those kind of move through you and identify those feelings. Oh, I'm feeling really stoked for my workout today. I'm feeling a little tired right now, but I know I'll feel more energized once I get into the workout. Okay. Then we take action. Action is like the front wheels on a car, right? You turn the steering wheel, it turns the front wheels on most vehicles. There's some weird ones out there that don't do that way, but most vehicles, you turn the wheel and the front wheels turn. When you take action, that steers us into our change process. So you've got your belief in place. I know that exercise will help me feel better mentally, emotionally, and physically. The thoughts of like, oh yeah, I can do this. If I do this, I know I'm going to get that positive feeling I'm looking for. I'm going to get those physical results I'm looking for. I'm going to get stronger. We anchor ourselves to the emotions of desire that are built around those thoughts and beliefs. And then you take action, getting out of bed, multiple days in a row. And to get the actions to turn into habits is a whole other thing, which is that repetition over time consistently leads to habit, right? So I take the action, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're getting out of bed and you're going to your morning, 7 a.m. class at the gym, your local gym, and you're hitting that. And when you're done with the action, go back and reflect on this stuff. That's how you kind of work this backwards of, hey, I took action, went to the gym. How did I feel afterwards? Man, I felt physically kind of a little bit tired or whatever, but generally people get a feeling of like a rush or endorphins. There's that runner's high. That's a very real thing. Um, Exercise can lead to some positive feelings. And when you anchor that action to those positive feelings, it makes it more likely to be something you want to do again, right? The human brain's an interesting device. It seeks pleasure and tries to avoid pain. So it's very important that you anchor yourself to the positive emotions around your exercise routine in order to make it into a habit. And then look at your results, right? People who start an exercise routine, a month in compared to day one and then 30 days in, they tend to have a lot more positive results to start. Hey, I started losing some of that extra fat off my body. I've started to feel my cardiovascular health improve. I started to feel my mobility improve. My mood has improved. I know for me, Gina, who's one of our coaches, my wife, she's a personal trainer and is brilliant at what she does. She helps to anchor her clients to the results, right? And people just, yeah, when they do it, they feel great. So the people that are able to keep a long-term exercise routine in place and make it a habit, they're the people that focus on those positive results they get every time they take action. And that positive um, change process starts to take root in them, becomes part of who they are. I remember one day I was working with a client years ago out of California, and she was working on developing some healthy routines around food and exercise. And I got a random text from her one day. She's like, I just wanted to let you know, uh, you know, I got sick the night before, so I wasn't able to make it to my workout class today. And it felt like I had forgotten to brush my teeth. She was really excited about this. And if you think about the science of change, I was excited too. Her exercise that she'd been working so hard to make a routine out of or a habit out of was so ingrained at that point because we've been working on this for months in a row that it felt like the same level of habit. You just brush your teeth. It's just something you do. You just go to the gym. It's just what you do. And you get those results when you do it, right? And then those results, when you focus on what did I get from this? What kind of mental clarity did I get from working out regularly? What kind of physical benefits am I getting with strength and flexibility and fat loss and muscle strengthening and you know, rebalancing your body? Maybe there was an old shoulder injury you healed through doing some good PT exercises and you healed it up and it feels better. Look at the positive results. And what that does is it goes back here and helps reinforce that positive belief that you've been working on building. So that is the overview of the change process. Our beliefs lead to thoughts. Thoughts help support the beliefs, which then lead to those positive emotions. Barbara Fredrickson calls that the upward spiral, right? And that helps lead us into wanting to continue to take action. The actions themselves do also create positive emotions, thoughts, and reinforce the belief. And then, of course, that positive result that you get from taking positive action on the regular basis, where you've created a habit, reinforces your positive belief, which the one we started with today was regular exercise will lead to, me feeling better mentally, physically, and emotionally. Three major areas of well-being, all positively impacted through adding in that exercise routine and making it a part of your life. So it's not a temporary intervention, it's a part of your lifestyle, as a part of your strategy going forward. So that's it for today. We went through this layers of change model, gave you an example of how you can do this. Yes, the new year's coming up. So if you can use this to help you build some routines, we want to see people go way beyond New Year's resolutions. We want to see people move into real change, positive change, so you can have the habits that will help you have a really great lifestyle going forward. That's it for today. Like this video if you liked it. Follow us on our channel. Subscribe to us, of course, and please share this with your friends. We have a lot more content coming. Thank you for your time today. We'll see you.